Hey everyone, welcome to Coach's Corner and this Friday's lesson. So for those of you who are new to the group, we just want to say a quick welcome. My name is Penny Housem. I am a holistic health and lifestyle coach, and I specialize in helping women move through their trauma. And together with Coach Lisa Boston, we are the co-founders of Lux Life Coaching. And if you guys have noticed, Coach Lisa does her videos on Wednesday, and they're pertaining to all things intuitive nutrition. And for Coach's Corner, I do all things mindset, mental fitness. So when we're looking at making that growth in our mindset and how we want to make change to move forward, this is where we kind of get into the nitty gritty about why we do what we do. So what I wanted to talk about this week is why living in your past is keeping you in self-sabotage mode, right? So this gets very dicey for a lot of people because they're like, no, I'm fine. I've let it go. Or we get comments from our clients such as, no, I know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm doing it. Okay, well, let's look at the logistics of that and why we do what we do. So, and I've talked about this before, and I've talked about big T traumas and small T traumas and what they are. And everybody's always under that impression that if you say the word trauma, it's got to be something that's catastrophic, something that's huge, that's changed your life. And that is true. Those are big T traumas. And for a lot of people, they get over those probably faster than the small T traumas. Small T traumas are things that have happened in our childhood. So we have age ranges from 3 to 5, 7 to 9, 11 to 13, and then anything in the teen years like 16 to 18 as we're formulating our brains, as we're growing, as we're locking in memories. So when we look at how the brain works and why we do what we do, those things get locked in. They could be as simple as I was at the park, and I'm using an example from a friend I know, and this was her sticking point, at the park, and I wasn't big enough to ride the rides, and I felt left out. Hence the sense of abandonment. My mom or my parents, because, if you're a Gen Xer like myself, you grew up with baby boomers, obviously, as parents, and it was like children should be seen, not heard. So there's that sense of lack of attention. There's all of the things that come with the hurt, the shame, the blame, the resentment, all of those things that get locked in. So if somebody makes a comment to you and it lands, and you're like thinking, oh, it's just a comment, how much can it hurt? But if it lands and it sits with you and it starts to help you, it starts for you developing how you think about yourself, that's a trauma. Okay, so all of these things play into accord to, as we move forward, here we are adults, and we see this all the time in the fitness industry. Coach Lisa and I see this with our clients all the time. Is like you run the vicious cycle of I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to jump on, I want the new shiny next thing. Okay, this is great, I'm going to do it, and then I'm not doing it, and then, oh my God, I've gained all the weight back, oh, I've fallen off all the habits, oh, I've fallen into old patterns. Why are we doing this? Okay, so living in your past is going to keep you in self-sabotage mode. Reason being, if you're not identifying and looking at what those traumas are and working through your journaling, I know I sound like a broken record, but I'm going to keep saying it until, people get it. And digging into why we do what we do, because some of those traumas sit very, very deep into the brain. So if we look at the hypothalamus, and it's the reptilian brain, it's the spot that keeps us protected. And it's like, it's amazing how on a subconscious level, it just dictates everything we do. And then on a mental level, where we're smart human beings, we have education, we have the life experience, we're an adult, we should know better. Why do I keep doing this? Why do I, when I'm a little tired and stressed, no, I should not be drinking wine because that actually increases my stress, or eating sugar because that increases my stress, or smoking because that increases the stress. But in the moment, it feels good. So there's the temporary fix. opposed to looking at the long-term health and the long-term gain of pushing through that moment of time, which is anywhere between 3 to 17 minutes, working yourself through it, understanding what's triggered you, why it triggered you, and what's coming up for you. Because as soon as we feel uncomfortable, we're looking for something to make us feel good. Dopamine hit. Yeah. So when we do that, what we're really doing is living in our history to say, well, whatever, I've done this before. I failed before. This isn't going to work for me this time. I already know that, like how many times have you guys all, and if I'm speaking to you, fallen, and we use the term falling on and off the wagon. Or I'm going to eat really, really well until Friday. Well, it's Friday, so I need some wine. Oh, I need to treat myself because I did really good for 4 days. And then you binge out all weekend, which just literally kills everything you did from Monday through Friday. Or you're good for 3 months, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm going on holiday. Oh, it's summer. Well, I can't work out during the summer. I don't know why, right? You can work out on holiday. I do it. I've done it every single time I've traveled, still work out. Maybe not as long. Maybe it's only 25 minutes to half an hour opposed to an hour, but I still work out, and then everybody's like, oh, but I was really active. I walked a lot. That's not a workout. Okay. So these are things that we tell ourselves to allow ourselves to self-sabotage, because what we're looking at is what's going on in the brain is you've got some unsolved trauma that you're ignoring by staying busy or coating with sugar or alcohol, which breaks down into sugar, or smoking or shopping or whatever addiction that you've got. So this is, whether that's, you guys, I say it all the time, the doom scroll, right? Like it's just like and you're going to spend the next 6 hours ignoring why you just ate a bunch of crap food. Okay, so it's not about cheating on the diet. It's not about treating yourself. We need to change the verbiage of what we're talking about so that we get an understanding that this is a lifestyle change. If you want permanent change, you have to have permanent change in your habits, which brings us back to if you keep living in your past and you keep pulling up what is like, well, it didn't work for me before. Oh, well, I could get low and I dropped 50 pounds. But then I'm pretty good at I'll maintain it for 3 months. And then I'm just going to revert right back to all the things I did that put on the 50 pounds. So this is the living in the past, because this is what we know. And we don't know what it's going to look like long-term going forward. We live in the past, which means your subconscious is going to self-sabotage you every time you start to move forward, because it doesn't know what that is. Okay, so when we live in a basis of ego, fun words, but if we live in the basis of ego, what your ego is trying to do is keep you safe. That's its only job, holding you in a position where it knows what to do. It doesn't know what to do over here with brand new habits. It doesn't understand why I should be doing something different, because this works with our brain. When we work with our brain, it wants to do things the most efficient way possible. I've talked about this before. So what your brain's doing, your brain's whole point of existence is to do things the most efficient way possible in the way that you've trained it to do. So if you look at a span of 1 year, 2 years, or whatever, and you've taught your brain that I'm going to just follow a plan for 3 or 4 months, but then I'm going to fall off and I'm going to I'm going to just sabotage all of it. You've taught your brain to go through that process. Okay, opposed to teaching your brain a new trick. Now, when you're trying to teach your brain a new trick, it's a lot of work. And your brain doesn't like to have to do that. Your brain wants to just do things as simply as possible, which means I get up in the morning and I do X, Y, Z. I get up in the morning and I turn off my sound machine. I turn off my sound therapy. I take a drink of water and then I go pee. my God, what if I got up in the morning and went, oh, I'll just go pee first and then I'll turn off my sound machine and maybe I'll listen to my sound therapy a little bit more while I meditate. Well, that's a whole different, like, right? It doesn't sound like much, but all of a sudden my brain goes, no, no, that's a lot of work. So to change that habit is simple as getting up, whatever you do. Everything you do from the second you open your eyes is a habit, right? Does your brain know that you're going to hit the snooze? Probably. For most people, instead of setting the alarm to the point you have to get up, they set it up back here and they're like, oh, get up early. And then they just hit the snooze. So what you're telling your brain is, my day's not important. I'm not important. I don't need to get up. I'm not setting an intention. Right? So all of a sudden, now your brain and your body go, your subconscious go, not important. Whatever she's going to do, it's not important. She wasn't important enough to get up for. But if you're going on holiday and you have a flight at 6 a.m. and you've got to be at the airport for 4, I fucking guarantee you that alarm goes off at 3 o'clock in the morning. You're getting up. You're not hitting snooze, right? Your everyday life should be just as important as when you think about getting on a flight to go on vacation. So what do we do and why do we want to like look at this? What Coach Lisa and I do is help you get into the habit of living the life that you love so much you don't need to take a vacation from it, right? So, but how do we do that? So when we look at building habits, they're only one at a time. I've talked about this before. Building a habit takes 66 days of repetitiveness. So once you get into that 66 days in order to build a habit, then it's like your brain synapses are clued in. It now knows like, oh, okay, I'm not going to get up in the morning and turn off my sound machine and the sound therapy and go pee. Oh, I'm going to get up in the morning, go pee, turn off my sound machine, listen to my sound therapy, and then meditate. See, it's a little switch, but that sets the intention for the day. I've slowed down long enough to acknowledge what I'm feeling. I've slowed down long enough now to set an intention for my day, put myself first and my self-worth. So my brain, we're all the way deep down in the hippocampus. Oh my God. I can't believe I just screwed up that word. The hippocampus. Down in the reptilian brain, it starts to change the synapses. And that takes work, but it also takes acknowledgement. So understanding that if I'm sitting there in my brain going, no, she's going to give up in 2 months. Like, let's not make this a priority because like you're pulling your history forward. You're pulling forward all the failure. Excuse me. So if you're pulling forward the failure and you're living in the past, such as, oh, I've tried this before and it failed. Oh, well, I've worked at this for so long. Oh, this has been my whole life. I don't understand. You can keep telling yourself you don't understand, or you can take a look at why you do what you do. So Coach Lisa and I, we offer that habits audit free call that you guys want to, just find out what it is you do. And everybody's like, oh, my habits are great. Okay. So then the question is, are you exactly where you want to be in your life, or are you still looking for something more? And if you're still looking for something more, that means your habits aren't that great, which means we have habits to switch, tweak, move around, right? Like, of course, getting up in the morning and, going pee, it's a good habit. You want to push all the toxins out of your body via the bladder. So when we look at making that change, if we're living in the past, your brain is already going, well, she's going to fail. It's okay. Just let her go through this phase. Right. So then we got like this victimhood going on, and we've got this whole, I'm going to live in my excuses and allow myself to fail because I've failed in the past. So I'm just going to keep reliving this over and over. Hence the self-sabotage. You're going to find a way to sabotage any effort you've put in, opposed to acknowledging that, journaling about it, understanding why you do it, moving through the trauma, forgiving yourself for it, let it go, move into being vulnerable with yourself, self-love, and adapt what you need to adapt for today, not what has happened. Because it really doesn't matter what happened in the past. It's over and done. It happened for whatever reason. The lesson you're trying to teach yourself that you're avoiding learning is why you keep running in a vicious circle. And it's going to keep going around and around and around, which then equals our self-sabotage. So if you're not letting go of the history of how, it doesn't matter how long you've worked on weight loss or toning your body or whatever. The fact is, if you didn't do it properly and for long enough, all of those efforts are gone to waste, right? Changing how we adapt. Also, you have to look at where your mindset is. And this is why we teach mental fitness. You have to look at what your growth is, like the mental mindset growth. Are you growing in your personal development? Are you growing in the changes of what you need to do? Are you growing with your self-love? And I don't mean just getting your nails done and a facial, that's superficial. Self-love, self-care, self-worth all comes from inside. Guys, you already have love. For everybody seeking love, it's already inside you. It's there. You just have to accept it, which then in turn, you have to just accept who you are as you are today because you're perfect. That being said, you can be perfect in who you are in this moment and then still want to advance. But you're never going to advance if you don't accept the fact that we are perfect for who we are and let go of the history. People live in this history all the time. Well, this person did this to me, or my ex-husband, or my husband, or oh, my kids. Oh, they did this. Doesn't matter. It's done and over. Can't change it. The only truth is in the moment and in the past. But what you tell yourself with going forward, or I can't do that, that's just words. That's living in victimhood. Oh, this will be really hard. Like, I think I'm going to fail. Those are just words you're putting up as excuses. So change the verbiage. Yeah, okay, I can make a change. It's going to be hard. I can do it. Okay, I'm going to make the effort because I'm worth it. Because I'm perfect. But I want to make this, and I'm going to still make this change. Not but, and. Right? So this is living in your past. It's keeping you to self-sabotage mode. So we want to let go of being self-sabotaging. We have to let go of the stories that we tell ourselves. And I talked about this, and I talk about it with my, Coach Lisa and I, Coach Lisa and I do this with our personal clients and with our Unstuck 90 group. And we also have training in the membership that we've just launched. So, whether or not you want more help or you want to do it on your own, but you just need the guidance and understanding the path to get there, that's inside of our membership with training videos so that we teach you, this is what this looks like. How do we make that change? So it's never about losing 20, 30, 40, whatever pounds. It's about changing your habits and your mindset around your lifestyle, that the end result is then losing the weight, getting in shape, excuse me, making a career change, whatever that is. But you don't start from that, the weight and the scale. That's the byproduct of balancing your hormones, intuitively eating, getting your metabolism better, getting your hormones balanced, getting your mindset, getting your training, like how that training looks. It's not going to look the same. When I say training, people are always like, oh, I have to do it every single day. That's not true. That's a story you tell yourself. Oh, I can't work out for an hour every single day. Great. You don't have to. But most certainly you could do 20 minutes 4 or 5 times a week to get started. You can also do 20 minutes twice a week to get started. And when I say working out, I mean like actually lifting weights. Ladies, slinging 5-pound weights isn't going to get a change in your body. It takes work, like a lot of work, right? So anything that's worth it, this is for all the moms, anything that's worth it takes work. Think about delivering a baby. That was a lot of work. A lot of work, but it was worth it. So are you, because you're perfect. So guys, let's think about letting go of the history. Let's think of letting go of the stories we've told ourselves and move forward make a cleanse today, start your journaling, write out all the crap that you say to yourself, all the bullshit stories that we tell ourselves, because that's just equaling excuses. And if you really want what you really want, great. Now, if you're really only saying that you want it because you think society wants to hear it, you're never going to make that change properly. So don't tell the world, oh, I need to lose 100 pounds, or this is what I want to do, when in essence, you don't really. You're just saying it to like get attention. Attention-seeking behavior comes from abandonment, which comes from looking at the traumas that we have in our past. Why do you feel that way? And if I say that and it triggers you and you get a little pissed off, then you know it's deep inside you and you need to investigate why. Okay, so that is my Coach's Corner for this Friday. As always, you guys know what to do. Hit the like button, hit the love button. If you've got a comment, please put something behind. If you're watching the replay, which you probably are, which you're going to be because this is recorded, just hit replay so that it stays in the feed and works the algorithm so more people can see it. And of course, if you've got questions about anything we have to help you, you can also ask for our habit, how to build healthy habits. We have a freebie that you can get. So if you want that, you can also type in the bottom healthy, and I will ship that PDF out to you. Guys, that's me for today.